Hello, my name is Victoria Mayfield, and today I'll be introducing a new service that I call SyllAssist. It's an app-based service that's intended to help college students prepare for and survive their college semesters, solving that semester slump. All right, so before we get started, just a little bit of information about me. I have several years experience working with children, and I came up with the idea for this service after reflecting back to this particular experience that I had with teaching young children with disabilities important motor skills. I was able to see how hard they work to achieve skills that many of us take for granted, that we're fortunate enough to be naturally born with. But they were resilient, even at such a young age, and that inspired me. I was also given the chance to help a couple former classmates in my last college take notes during classes since they had learning disabilities that made that difficult for them. And they had that same passion in them. The only difference here is that they did not have nearly as much support. And I wanted to do something to help change that. But enough about me. There's someone more important that I'd like to introduce. Say hi to Amber. Amber has just recently graduated high school. Yay! And she's about to start her first semester in college. She's excited since this will be the first time in her life that she's been away from home for so long, and she'll be able to make new friends too. But with that excitement comes some anxiety since she knows that college works will be different from what she's done in K through 12. And with ADHD and dyslexia as obstacles, learning is already a challenge enough. Here are some thoughts she's having leading up to the semester. She's had a long discussion with her high school counselor and has been told that the pacing in college is indeed a lot faster, which means that she will most likely get overwhelmed with assignments. Having disabilities is hard enough. She has to deal with the medication imbalances and constant changes and fatigue and so much more. In addition, there aren't any easier classes that she can take compared to in K-12 where they have special education courses. So there's limited help available for her. Now she knows about her campus's Office of Disability Services, but she doesn't want to have to ask for help after finally getting a little taste of independence. Also, she's worried that going to the office will make her stand out, and all she really wants to do is just fit in for once. Then her guidance counselor tells her about a recently launched app that offers help to students just like her by fellow students. She can get help with preparing for the semester with an assistant student that will organize her schedule, set recurring reminders for important assignments, help keep her study space organized, and so much more. Not to mention, she'll get the chance to meet and hang out with all kinds of students. The app even tells her about all the available resources that her university has to offer to her without her having to go into the office. So she decides to check it out. Right off the bat, the first thing that she sees is a sign-in sheet. Then, boop, a notification pops up, and it's audio as well, so she can hear it. Are you having trouble viewing? Would you like to swap to zoom in, audio mode, or black and white mode? And these are intended for those who might have visual impairments or are hard of hearing to make their experience a lot easier. Then she can pick what she struggles with. For her, it's maintaining focus and staying organized. She can further narrow down to her actual disabilities, which are dyslexia and ADHD. Then she will choose what she would like help with, namely for her, managing her semester schedule. Then it's time for her to find an assistant. She can either go to Sorbet Social or she can have an assistant picked for her. But she wants to know what the Sorbet Social is about. So what is Sorbet Social? Well, it's supposed to be an interaction between the assistants and their potential peer clients. Basically, they all get together and can just talk, eat some sorbet ice cream, and get to know one another. It's really supposed to be a fun experience. And the hope is that at the end of it, they'll connect with somebody and be able to build that client and student assistant relationship rather, naturally. And that's exactly what happens in Amber's case. She finds Naomi and schedules their first appointment. Here at SyllAssist schedule, she can see her next scheduled appointment and also see any important prep that Naomi has listed for her, like, for example, having all her syllabi ready for the meeting. She can cancel and change her appointment or ask any questions that she needs to Naomi. After the meeting, there's the meeting recap section, which has important notes that Naomi has listed from throughout the meeting and upcoming assignments that she needs to know about. Finally, if she has any questions at all, she can go to the Scylla chat and reach out to Naomi. And Naomi can send her pictures, documents, and even reminders for upcoming appointments. Now that we've seen what the service looks like, let's take a look at some more numbers, shall we? All right, so study has proven that 11% of college students in America have a learning disability. Now, there's 20 million college students in America. That means that at least 2 million have a learning disability, and that's not even accounting for those that have not been properly diagnosed with a disability. Also, there's nothing quite like SyllAssist that exists. There are tutoring centers and offices of disabilities, but they have their limits and they're not as interactive. 62% of students with learning disabilities graduate on time in America, compared to the 84% of average students that graduate. We think that little gap right there could be closed just a little bit more with a service like SyllAssist. Also, in Louisiana alone, that average is brought down to 37%. So a service like this would definitely kick off best in a place like Louisiana. Also, 1 in 3 young people with learning disabilities spend less than an hour outside their home on a typical Saturday. And they reported being a lot more lonely than a typical student because they are so busy with dealing with their, properly dealing with their disability that they don't have the time to really spare for interaction like they would like to. Now here I've listed some quotes that I gathered from various different offices of disabilities from across the country, as well as several relevant parties. And they all build around the same story, the difficulty of how hard it is at the beginning of the semester for a lot of these students and transitioning as well, and how that self-advocacy is so new to them and can be so scary as well. Now, finally, we're gonna look at the numbers. Everybody's asking, well, how much will it cost? Well, I drew from my previous experience as a note taker from my colleagues and university, and which they gave me a one-time stipend for helping my fellow students take notes. Likewise, SIL assistants are paid in the same manner. Each assistant is being allowed up to 3 clients per semester, and they're paid a one-time stipend for that semester. Now, the students will pay a one-time fee, and that price will differ depending on which level they choose. But the all-inclusive package is only $500 for the whole semester. And with an understanding that having this ability adds enough financial stress, SyllAssist also has donation letters available to its peer clients so that they can send out requests to help from family members and friends to help make their upcoming semester a success. Now, let's look at the numbers. After plugging in the total expenses and many factors for the company, the break-even analysis revealed that the company would hit the break-even point at 17 months with just 4,500 peer clients, and that's just for Louisiana, primarily New Orleans. The idea for SyllAssist offices the idea for the SyllAssist offices is for them to be set up in what I like to call college hubs. These are small areas like New Orleans in which there are several universities all in close proximity to one another, which make it easy for people from different campuses to get to know one another. After scaling down the populations of all the local universities and coming up with the percentage of students with learning disabilities, I found this market is massive. And that's not even including students without learning disabilities who just want extra help. Finally, I am seeking $375,000 to launch the app and service development. I need to launch the app and also expand the SyllAssist team so that we have the people and resources to properly dedicate to this potentially life-changing project. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my pitch, and I hope that you'll agree that this service could improve the quality of life for so many of our students and in turn, our future generations. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns that you may have. Thank you and have a wonderful day.